This week on TGC News, a QD optic mount that I really like, new budget suppressors, and the worst holster I've ever seen. Have you ever tried to put a gun together with this or this? Or even this? Then you may want to consider some schooling from Sonoran Desert Institute. SDI offers courses from some of the best and brightest the gun industry has to offer, from gunsmithing to reloading to a full-on associate's degree in firearms technology. You can learn all of that from the comfort of your own home. To learn more, check out sdi.edu. Welcome back. My name is John Patton, and I'm doing another straw poll. In the description of this video is a link to vote on what kind of TGC swag you guys want next. Go vote on that after the show, I'll remind you. Now, this week's first story is about something that we've been talking about a lot lately. It seems as though the suppressor game hasn't stopped moving, even when the gun game is slow. This time, though, it's not super fancy, expensive, or anything like that. Instead, Radical Firearms, a company best known for selling cost-effective AR-15s, has come out with their own line of cans. They're hitting the market strong with 4 different options, including a 7.62 direct thread, a 5.56 direct thread, a 22 long rifle direct thread, and an integral suppressor for a 10/22. Staying away from QD mounts definitely keeps costs down because there is no crazy R&D that needs to go into a direct thread can. It just threads on. And because of the company mantra, I can only assume that the baffle stack is ultra simplistic as well. They're also not rated for full auto use at all. That being said, they are extremely affordable. The highest price can on their website is the 7.62 version at a whopping $499.99. Couldn't put that extra penny on there, guys? They seem to be gunning for companies like Huntertown Arms that have really done well with budget suppressors. These are not fancy, but that doesn't matter to a lot of people. These are the types of cans that guys buy when they're not sure about getting more, or they're just getting started with suppressors. The price point alone is sometimes enough to get people buying, with the 22 long rifle can coming in at 200 bucks. Yeah, 200 bucks. That's a great price. What's really going to make or break these things, though, like all suppressors, is how they perform. That's yet to be seen, but Radical claims they're all hearing safe, which is good enough for a lot of people. You know, I prefer super quiet stuff with good tone, but just hearing safe is good enough for a lot of folks out there. This might be something I pick up for maybe even a knockaround can. You know, something you just throw on a gun and forget about. What do you guys think? Would you buy something like this, or would you opt for something maybe a little bit fancier, a little bit higher quality? Let me know down in the comments. And in I can't tell if they're trolling us now news, there is yet another ridiculous holster on the market. It's like they planned this crap out. First we saw the EAA Abdo, then the handgun sling, then it was the urban carry holster, and then last week I talked about the gun control system for Madhouse Design, all of which got a big not TGC approved stamp from me. This week we've got another gem. This one is called the Bungie holster. They recently released a product video on this holster. Let's break it down from the start.
Hey guys, this is Jeremy with BungieHolster.com. B-U-N-G-E-E, holster, all one word, .com. If we have to spell holster for you, we don't want you operating any machinery, much less ours.
First off, Jeremy tells us that he doesn't want anyone operating a gun if they can't spell holster to get to the website. Classy move, Jeremy, I agree. Next up, he says the Bungie holster is newly patented.
Here it is, newly patented. We're very excited about it. To remove the holster, you simply pull on the tab, and you've produced your holster.
I didn't know it was possible to patent a bungee cord, but okay, let's keep moving.
It is a proprietary, high tensile rubber band. I hate to call it that because of all the research and development that went into this.
Oh, sorry, it's actually a rubber band. He goes on to say that it's the lightest weight and lowest profile holster on the market.
It's the lightest weight holster on the market. Lowest profile.
Shocking considering it is the laziest design I've ever seen short of the flip-flop holster. And of course, what I always hear people talking about is how heavy their Kydex holsters are. What? What? What I really want to know is what this thing offers to the end user and how easy it is to set up.
You simply run the holster behind the barrel, give it a little twist, and tuck it in. And it's there.
Wow, that's so easy. It's as if they didn't even try to design a holster, but instead used a hair tie to hold a gun to a belt. Jeremy then describes an incident where his own brother was wearing this holster a few years ago during a bike accident.
My brother was in a bicycle accident a few years ago, fell, landed on the gun, skin fared terribly. The clip dislodged, went sailing 20 feet. The gun in the holster stayed just fine in place, didn't move one bit.
And even though the clip was ejected, yes, he did say clip, the gun stayed in the holster just fine. Jeremy, that's good news because your brother could have shot himself with your awful holster that has absolutely nothing covering the trigger. But wait, upon inspection of the Bungie holster website, they strongly say that if you carry with a round in the chamber, then this piece of crap is not for you. So essentially, if you have a brain, this is not for you because you should be carrying with a round in the chamber. Let's talk about the possibility of actually using this thing.
You grab your gun, give it a pull. Awesome.
Don't worry about unholstering the thing properly, just yank and the rubber band goes flying and you get your gun. According to Jeremy, the rubber band will distract whoever you're pulling the gun on.
Your holster went flying through the air, distracting whoever you're pulling your gun on and giving you the upper hand.
That's a brilliant strategy, Jeremy. Why don't you also encourage the end users to urinate on themselves too? Seems like something that would fit into your mindset. In all seriousness, this is the worst holster design I've ever seen. I've not seen anything worse than this. The only thing that could make it worse would be purposely sticking something in the trigger guard. You are literally open carrying using a rubber band. I still can't tell if we're being trolled or not because they've put out additional videos carrying on with the message that they have no idea how to make a holster. The only benefit here is that if you want to waste money on being a catastrophic moron, it's only gonna cost you $8. I wish I was making this up. I really do. This is so stupid. In the comments below, I want you guys to tell me about the worst holster you've ever seen or used besides this one. And on hashtag Not a Review, the segment where I take a product and give you guys a hands-on spotlight, we're taking a look at the QD MRO mount from Midwest Industries. I'll break it down for you like this. While it would be ideal to have a specific optic for each gun, that is not a reality for a lot of people out there that are on a budget. And that is the #1 thing I get asked about. What about budget optics? What about budget parts? It's all about that kind of stuff. So let's think with that mindset. That's where this type of item comes in super handy. You take the same quality that we've seen for years from Midwest and combine it with some smart concepts and you get this. I'm talking about the fact that you can easily unlock and move this thing with one hand. And if the clamping force actually needs to be adjusted, that's pretty simple as well. You just squeeze it together and rotate the screw by hand. No tools needed. The adjustments are fine enough to where you can dial it into your gun, but not so fine that you spend hours fiddling trying to get it right. The other thing that really stands out to me is that I've swapped this thing from gun to gun to gun, and it hasn't left a mark on any of them, regardless of how tight I get it. I'll tell you this much. When I let my buddy Rich try this thing out for this video, it only took him a few tries with it to say out loud, I'm gonna get one of these. From a dude that's been around a while and knows a ton about guns, that is a big compliment. All in all, I think these Midwest mounts are sleek, lightweight, and also strong enough to be at home on any rifle. If you guys want to learn more, you can click the link in the description to head over to MidwestIndustriesInc.com. Also, of course, like a lot of the Not a Review spots, this company has supported us before, so they are going to continue to do that with a discount code for you guys, TGCQD, 10% off these mounts. This week's friendly fire question is from Nine-Minded on Instagram, and he asks, what's your opinion on the debate between brass and steel-cased ammo? I think this is a solid question because it's one of those classic gun store arguments. Essentially, there's a case against running steel-cased ammo because of the coatings on the cases versus no coatings on actual brass. I've also heard that a healthy diet of steel-cased ammo will wear your gun out prematurely. In my opinion, your gun should eat any ammo you throw at it. In regards to the coating, the only time that I've ever seen issues is when you go from steel to brass case. Because steel doesn't expand the same way, there's actually a little bit of room in the chamber for extra crud and stuff to stick to the chamber walls, and then when you put a brass case in there, it actually will get stuck when it expands into that stuff. It's a pretty rare thing, but I have seen it happen. And as far as I'm concerned, the thing about premature wear is a silly thing to worry about. Most guys that talk about that happening are the kind of guys that would only go out and shoot 100 rounds in a weekend and pretend like they got some training in. It takes so many rounds to wear out a gun with properly made parts that most people won't ever see it happen. So, like I said, I think a gun should run everything you throw at it. Steel, brass, or even aluminum cases. And if it doesn't, I'd question owning that gun. Of course, there are exceptions to every rule, but that is the core of my opinion. My friendly fire question to you guys this week: would you rather pay more money for brass case ammo rather than run a lot of steel case stuff? Let me know down in the comments. And if you want your question answered right here on the show, you can post that on Facebook.com/TheGunCollective. You can hit me up on Snapchat or post it on Instagram, and be sure to tag me. Bring your EDC game to a new level with KeyBar, offered in tons of different finishes from aluminum to titanium to carbon fiber and tons of other fancy options. You can stack these with things like a titanium comb or a USB flash drive. The only limitation is your mind. Use the code TGC10 to get 10% off your entire order at keybar.us. And unfortunately, guys, that is it for this week's show. Do not forget to go vote in that swag straw poll for me. You guys are super helpful with that kind of stuff, so I want to see what you guys want. Guys, of course, you know what to do. If you enjoyed the episode, hit like and share it with your friends. If you didn't, let me know down in the comments so we can talk about it. Do not forget to subscribe. You won't want to miss a single week of the show. And as always, thank you all for watching. We'll see you soon. The shirts worn in today's episode of TGC News were provided by Patriot Patch Company. Click the link in the description to learn more.